And welcome back into another edition of Keytime Sports. Please like, comment, share, subscribe. Keytime Sports right here on YouTube, Key City Sports on Instagram, and the key at millions.co. Now, week 5 is in the books when it comes to college football play. The first game I'm going to get it the first game I'm going to cover is the USC Trojans. Now, USC Trojans, I've always been skeptical of their defense. And I am going to tell you, I did not look at that defense and I did not feel confident about the USC Trojans. I didn't. Here is their statistics for both teams. Luke Altmaier, 20 of 26, 328 yards, 2 touchdowns, 0 interceptions. Jaden Maiva, 30 of 43, 364 yards, 2 touchdowns, 1 interception. I'm just going to go ahead and say this. When it comes to the rushing attack for both of these teams, it was good, but USC Trojans, they not able to hang with anybody. They aren't. They aren't able to hang with anybody, and when you need your third down defense to come up with a stop, they were not able to do it. You all see this: 8 of 14 for the USC Trojans, and 6 of 10 for the Illinois Fighting Illini. Now here's the last part. Everything that happened throughout this game, I expected it to happen. I did. I expected it to happen. But the last drive, I'm going to go ahead, I'm going to show y'all something. The last drive of this game is critical for everybody in this game. It is critical because y'all see last drive where USC, they needed a stop on defense. Look at this first play, 9 yard gain for first down for Illinois. And y'all see this second play, third down. You got to have it. USC was not able to get off the field. Also, you go to the next play, 1st and 10 at the 30, at the 33. They were not able to get off the field. You give up 7 yards on the first down play. Look at this, 3rd and 4. You got to have it. Illinois gets another first down. See, the USC Trojans' run defense is bad and the passing defense is bad. And there is the aforementioned field goal. Illinois won the game, and USC has fallen out of the rankings. So now we get back to this point of the game where total yards, USC allowed over 500 yards. Total yards for the Illinois Fighting Illini was 502. The Illinois defense allowed almost 500 yards. So this was a offensive shootout. No defense at all in this game. None. None at all. So when I think about this, and as you can see, yards per play, 12.3 for Illinois, and then you have 8.5 for the USC Trojans. That just says a bad defense all day. All day, all the time. It is just bad defense. So this game, I'm really not surprised that the USC Trojans lost this game because USC going to the East Coast, they always lose no matter what. They lost to Michigan last year and they lost to the Illinois Fighting Illini on Saturday. The next game I am going to cover is the LSU Tigers. LSU Tigers and the Ole Miss Rebels. Now, the Ole Miss Rebels, head coach Lane Kiffin, I commend you. I commend you on getting a quality win that you needed because they needed this. They needed this quality win. Now, for the LSU Tigers, I'm going to get to y'all a little bit later, but right now, Trinidad Chambers, 23 of 39, 314 yards, 1 touchdown, 1 interception. Ole Miss Rebels rushing attack, 170 yards. LSU rushing attack, 59 yards. Receiving, Look at this. Everybody that was receiving for the for the Ole Miss Rebels had at least 14 yards, if not more. And also, for as far as running, Keywan Lacey, he had 23 carries, 87 yards, one touchdown. Now, there's one thing that I want to say when it comes to the LSU Tigers. These LSU Tigers, they thought that they had a good defense. They did. All of these LSU fans saying, yeah, we got the best defense. Let me tell you who y'all played. Y'all played Louisiana Tech, Group of Five school. Y'all played Southeastern Louisiana, Group of Five school. You played Clemson, K Klubnik, which is up and down. You played DJ Lagway in Florida, which is up and down. Florida, they might throw in the towel on their season already. So you didn't really play a top five offense. You only played subpar offenses throughout the entirety of this season up until this point. And then you play against a top-notch offense. And let me tell you, LSU had trouble getting off the field on third down. As you can see, they did. They had trouble. The third down efficiency for Ole Miss was 8 of 16. So either every third down situation, the Ole Miss Rebels was getting a conversion, or every other third down conversion. Now I'm gonna show y'all a couple of clips of this game. I'm gonna show y'all the fourth quarter in this game. Fourth quarter in this game right here, 4th and 1. Now this is where LSU, they really needed it. They really needed this fourth down, and then that offensive lineman, number 56, he moved. So the 4th and 1 became a 4th and 6. So y'all see, if y'all was watching this game, y'all see how it goes. And let me tell y'all something. Garrett Nussmeier, he is just an above average quarterback. He is not the type of quarterback that can throw you to a victory. And when I mean throw you to a victory, if the run game is non-existent, he throws the ball 35, 40 times, and you find a way to get a win. See, y'all see this? Rushing attack for LSU, they didn't have a good game. Ole Miss defense came up when it had to. So now like I said, LSU, they get the touchdown here. But as far as on defense, now I want to get to this 2-point conversion. This 2-point conversion, I did not agree with the 2-point conversion. I would have wanted LSU to run the ball. I really would have. I would have wanted them to not run the ball, but pass the ball. But they ran it right up the middle, and Ole Miss, they already knew what the play was, because you see they had so much pressure coming off of it, and they stopped it. So Trinidad Chambliss, nobody could get pressure on him. Y'all see this? Nobody could get pressure on him. And when LSU, they needed a stop on defense, they wasn't able to get it. Y'all see this? The man of the hour and the running back of the game, Keywan Lacey, he had 8 yards on his carries in this game. So Ole Miss, they got their quality win. They did. They got their quality win. And for LSU, let me get back to LSU for a minute. Okay. Yeah, let me get back to LSU for a minute. LSU, Brian Kelly, I don't know what to say about him. But Brian Kelly, you've been at LSU 4 years. You said that you was going to deliver a champion. You said that you was going to deliver championships to Baton Rouge. You haven't delivered a championship to Baton Rouge yet. The best that Brian Kelly has done in his tenure with the LSU Tigers is getting to the college football playoff in his first season. Ever since then, it has just been bowl game after bowl game after bowl game. Now, for the LSU Tigers, I know the LSU Tigers are not going to fire Brian Kelly because the buyout is just way too big. reportedly, Brian Kelly's buyout is 80. That's another coach. Brian Kelly's buyout is $65 million. Now I know LSU, they probably have that kind of money, but they're not trying to spend it right now on a coach. They're not trying to spend it right now on a coach. So for the LSU Tigers, what I think LSU should have never been ranked number 4 because you have to look at who they were playing. They were playing a bunch of inferior teams before they played Ole Miss, and Ole Miss 5-0. This is the best start ever in the Lane Kiffin era at Ole Miss. So Ole Miss, the sky's the limit. And is Ole Miss a national championship contender? They are on the verge of being that. But first, they got to win the SEC first. They might be able to win the SEC, but I am not sure about it. Because you have other teams. You have the Alabamas. You got Georgia. And I'm going to talk about Alabama and Georgia a little bit later on. Now, one thing I can say is this game, all in all, it was a very good game. Ole Miss did what they were supposed to do. LSU, they offense sputtered a lot of times in this game. And that's all I got to say for the Ole Miss Rebels and the LSU Tigers. The next game I am going to talk about is the Oregon Ducks and the Penn State Nittany Lions. James Franklin cannot win the big game for nothing. He can't win the big game. I mean, in 25 games, he is 4-21. And against top 10 not even top 10 teams. Yeah, I'm going to go ahead and say that. Against top 10 teams since 2016, James Franklin is 0-15. 0-15. So one thing that I can say is Penn State is a team that is just full of hype. That's what they are. Penn State is just full of hype. If I am the athletic director for Penn State University right now, I'm looking at James Franklin. I'm saying, when are we going to win a big game, a quality game that means something? Because Penn State, over the years, James Franklin, he has beaten up on the little guy. He's beaten up on Eastern Kentucky. He's beaten up on Eastern Michigan. But when it comes to teams playing like not Ole Miss, but Oregon, Ohio State, Michigan, when it comes to teams like that, Penn State is not able to win. So the buyout for James Franklin is $85 million. Do you want, as Penn State, do you have that kind of money to buy out a head coach that is worth $85 million? And he not even 65% done with his contract yet. So the buyout, I don't know what Penn State is going to do, but the buyout is $85 million. Do you want to pay that? Do you want to pay that to get James Franklin out of Penn State? Or are y'all going to just stay with Penn? Are y'all just going to let him keep putting Penn State up the ladder but not winning any quality games? Now, I'm going to say this. One thing that I can say is with Oregon, they did what they were supposed to do. Dante Moore, 29 of 39, 248 yards, 3 touchdowns, 0 interceptions. Drew Aller, he's playing below average right now. 14 of 25, 137 yards, 2 touchdowns. That 1 interception, it proved costly. It did. It proved costly. And the rushing attack for both teams, they did what they were supposed to do. You got Penn State with 139 rushing yards and Oregon with 176. Rushing attack, not rush attack, but receiving for the Lions and the Ducks. See, this is the disparity right here that I'm focused on. You had 248 yards from Oregon Ducks receiving core, and then you had 137 yards. But another thing I want to say about this game, the Ducks and the Lions, where were the superstars at in this game? Where was the superstars that needed to take over this game? You got Dak Torian Moore, 7 yards, 7 catches, 89 yards. Outside of him, Oregon, they didn't do nothing during the L, in the L. Penn State Nittany Lions, Devontae Ross, he had 4 receptions, 48 yards. The Lions, they didn't do nothing in the L. You have this, team statistics. Team statistics, third down efficiency, both teams were bad, third down efficiency. This was a defensive game. At halftime, this game was 3-3. And everybody, I'm looking at this game, I'm trying to figure out where did these 24 points come from and where did these 30 points come from? And I always go back to the statistics in this game. 3 touchdowns for Oregon came from the arm of the quarterback, Dante Moore, 21 points. Then you had 1 touchdown on the ground. Well, you had 1 touchdown where Jordan Davidson, he had 1. Then you had a bunch of field goals. They was kicking field goals. So one thing that I'm going to do now is I'm going to just go back to the sequence of the third quarter. Well, excuse me, early fourth quarter. Y'all see this. It's 17-3 in favor of Oregon right now. So 1st and 10, y'all see Drew Aller back to pass. Well, Drew Aller fakes the handoff. He goes back to pass. He throws it for a touchdown to his wide receiver. Now it was 17-10 right there. 37 seconds left in regulation. Down 17-10. Drew Aller goes back. He gives the ball off to his wide receiver, and they score a touchdown. So y'all see this. Penn State, they had their chance to win this game. They did. Had their chance to win this game. Devontae Ross, that was the touchdown that I talked about just a few seconds ago. Now, we get to the point in overtime. And let me tell y'all something. In overtime, it's basically anybody's game. Y'all saw that last night with the Cowboys and the Packers. I'm going to get into that game in tomorrow's show. But as of right now, this game, it was anybody's game when it goes into overtime. And it was Penn State's game for the taking. When you see this lineup right here, and y'all see how they ran it in for a touchdown, I want to get to Penn State's defense. Because Penn State's defense, y'all see this? Penn State's defense was not able to stop anything on the ground. They wasn't. They weren't able to stop anything on the ground. And y'all see this. This is the second overtime. This is where Penn State's defense, they have got to come up and get a stop in this game. In the second frame of overtime. And y'all see this. Y'all see that right there? Y'all left number 2 wide open, and the Nittany Lions, they were not able to get a stop. Now they were able to get that interception, but they didn't do any favors because they fumbled, and that was really a chaotic play. It really was. So we go back. Penn State, they have a chance to win. Drew Aller throws an interception. Like I said, that interception, it proved costly. Now, I go back to James Franklin. James Franklin, he's been there for 12 years now. He has only won 4 games against top 10 competition. He hasn't won a game against top-notch competition in the last 10 years. Penn State is one of those, is supposed to be one of those powerhouses. But I haven't heard Penn State being a powerhouse and as far as being a championship contender since the 1980s. 1988 was last time the Penn State Nittany Lions won a championship. 1988. And now we are almost at 40 years. Almost at 40 years. Right now we are at 37. So it's been 37 years since the Penn State Nittany Lions have even remotely been close to a championship. And I already know James Franklin said that he got the right kind of players, he got the right kind of team. But what is it? See, this is why I say college football, it comes down to coaching. The talent, you can have all of the talent on the field you want. But if you don't have the right kind of offensive coordinator, the right kind of defensive coordinator, and the right kind of head coach for a coaching staff on a team, you are going to be just like Penn State. You're able to get there, but you're not able to win it. And that's what's been Penn State's problem the last 7 years. Because Penn State, every season, I hear from Penn State fan base, oh, we got a good team this year. You always done had good teams over the past 30 years. Now I'm taking it all the way back to 88 up until now. You done had good teams over the past 37 years, but you still haven't been able to get back to a national championship. You haven't. So James Franklin, I don't know what James Franklin is going to do. His contract buyout, I already said that it's $65 million. I don't know if Penn State is ready to be prepared to pay that buyout. But if they want to move on and get a championship-minded head coach in a way that you can get to the championship and win the championship, you might have to move on from James Franklin. You do. All in all, Oregon and Penn State, it was a very, very interesting game. Coming down the stretch, it was very interesting. I was on pins and needles, but I was watching the other game Saturday night that was most important, which leads into my final take and my final game. We got the Alabama Crimson Tide and the almighty Georgia Bulldogs. Now, I just want to say something. Man. Hey, everybody, and I do mean everybody, was saying Georgia was going to beat Alabama. And I said, what? I'm like, where's this game taking place? They said in Athens, Georgia. I said, oh, you mean Bryant-Denny East? Y'all know that's where the Alabama Crimson Tide play. Their stadium is named Bryant-Denny Stadium. But Georgia, Athens, Georgia, Atlanta, Georgia, and all parts of Georgia. You can say Augusta, Georgia, Atlanta, Georgia, Piedmont, Georgia. You could say anywhere in Georgia, Alabama has won in Georgia. You know, last time Alabama lost in Athens, Georgia was 2003. So all you Georgia fans out there, y'all talking about that y'all are the standard in college football. You got to beat the standard in college football before you can become the standard in college football. And that is with the Alabama Crimson Tide. I keep on telling y'all, how can a team that has only won 4 championships be the standard in college football over a team that has won 18 national championships? And I'm going to keep on saying it. 18 national championships. And let me remind y'all, the Alabama football program is only 100 years old as of this year. So they win an average of 2 championships each decade. There was one decade where they won 6 championships in that decade. I am not going to bore y'all to death with the history, but y'all go ahead and y'all look up the history, because I'm a historian, but I want my audience to start looking up the history. I mean, y'all say y'all watch me. If y'all look up the history, then I know y'all watch me on a day-to-day basis. But when it comes to Georgia, Kirby Smart, and everybody that's associated with the UGA program, y'all are a good team. Y'all are. But it's just when it come to Alabama, you already know how it's gonna end. You already know how it. Now everybody, now it's always that phrase when it says one team got your number, and it bees that way sometimes. Alabama keeps having Georgia's number, and that's why I said in my reaction video, I said Alabama goes to Athens, Georgia, aka Bryant Denny East, and come out of that with a win. Georgia is not a competition when it comes to Alabama. It's not. In the history of this rivalry, and I don't even think that it's a rivalry now. In the history of this rivalry, Alabama has won more times than not. Starting back, the very first matchup in this rivalry was 1895. Yeah, I'm going back to the prehistoric times. I'm going back to before clocks were even invented. You had to go to a compass where you had to use a compass in order to tell what time it was back in 1895. Yes, I'm going back to prehistoric times. So from prehistoric times, all you Georgia fans, y'all been saying that y'all got the upper hand against Alabama. Prehistoric times up until now, history tells you that you're lying. History is a great indicator on what is expected for future actions. I'm going to say that again. History is a great indicator for what has happened in the past for future actions. Now, everybody is saying that the Georgia Bulldogs, they are frauds and stuff. But hey, Georgia, they still a good team. But it's just when y'all could beat anybody else. You could beat anybody else. You could beat Florida State. You could beat this team. You could beat that team. But when it comes to Alabama, y'all know that y'all are second-class citizens when it comes to playing against Alabama. Alabama remains the standard in college football and will always be the standard. Georgia, just calm down. I think I need to do a wellness check on the Georgia Bulldog fans because I've been looking at my mentions for the past, I would say, 36 hours, and nothing from the Georgia fan base. No Georgia fans have made no TikTok videos, no Instagram posts, or no Instagram reels, or nothing like that. Is everybody okay in Athens, Georgia this morning? That's what I want to know. Somebody please just reach out to me on Instagram or TikTok to let me know if everybody in Athens is okay. I might need to do a wellness check. I might need to do a wellness check from Florida to Athens, Georgia this morning. But at the end of the day, Georgia fans, they already knew what was going to happen in this game. And all of these Georgia fans, they keep on saying that Alabama, they didn't score any points in the second half. They didn't need to. It was a defensive game. Y'all keep on talking about Gunnar Stockton this, Gunnar Stockton that. Gunnar Stockton going to be able to beat this team. Gunnar Stockton was 13 of 20, 130 yards, 1 touchdown, 0 interceptions. Ty Simpson, I keep on telling y'all was playing. Y'all been sleeping and playing on Ty Simpson. Because Ty Simpson, every game this season, Ty Simpson has had a good game. Even against Florida State, he had 254 yards and 2 touchdowns. This game, 24-38, 276 yards, 2 touchdowns, and 0 interceptions. Ty Simpson, he should be in the running for Heisman Trophy winner, being a Heisman Trophy candidate. Georgia, you ain't do yourself no favors with this one. You didn't. And Alabama, like I said, Alabama, they had a minor bump in the road in Tallahassee earlier this month. But since then, they have won 3 straight games, and they have only allowed a grand total of 60 points throughout this winning streak. For the Georgia Bulldogs, another thing I want to say about the Georgia Bulldogs, all you Georgia fans, y'all was talking about when we at home, we invincible. And I was, ooh, goodness. My emotion after the game, I cannot tell you how happy I was for Alabama to go into Athens and win in Athens, because it had been almost a good 6 years since Georgia lost a home game. Their last home game that they lost was October 19th of 2019 versus the South Carolina Gamecocks. That was 4,000 days ago. 4,000 days ago. And now, 4,000 days later, your nemesis, the Alabama Crimson Tide, goes into Stanford Stadium, a.k.a. Bryant-Denny East, and win over the Georgia Bulldogs. Now, I keep on saying that it don't matter where the Alabama Crimson Tide and Georgia Bulldogs play, because Alabama going to beat them. Alabama is going to beat them now. One thing that I can say is, Georgia, y'all in the same position that us, that I'm going to just go ahead and say it. Y'all are in the same position that us Gator fans are in. We can't beat y'all, and y'all can't beat Alabama. So, please, just join us. Georgia Bulldogs, just join us here, because y'all saying, y'all trying to boost y'all selves up. Y'all think that y'all national championship contenders, which you are, but when it comes to Alabama, y'all not going to be able to get past Alabama. Everybody keep on talking about, we'll see y'all in the in the SEC championship game. For what? For another loss? For another loss, really. And I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to show y'all some clips of this game, because it was a lot of clips in this game. Well, Alabama, they started out, 14-0, but it's really not, I'm really not going to be showing that. I'm going to show the point where in the game where everything got tight, the flag where the guy had jumped over the whole pile. So everybody, and I do mean everybody in this game, was on pins and needles. Y'all see Ty Simpson back to pass. Ty Simpson had great pocket awareness. He didn't take a sack in this game. He got out of the pocket and he kept his eyes downfield. Y'all see this. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to get straight to the fourth quarter, because I know that's what a lot of people have been looking for. So here's the fourth quarter. Early start of the fourth quarter. 3rd and 7. Georgia defense, they got to have this play. And y'all see that? The Georgia defense, they did make a play, but they wasn't able to score. So y'all see this. Y'all see where Georgia, they start. Zachariah Branch, he got a first down, but Georgia was not able to score. 3rd and 11, Gunnar Stockton. He back to pass. Gunnar Stockton, back to pass. I just want y'all to see what Gunnar Stockton did. He was able to get a first down there, but as I've been saying, Georgia was not able to score. Then we get to Alabama. Alabama, 2nd and 4 with 1:55 left. Georgia, they stopped them right there. So, the final play of the game, 3rd down and 5. Georgia needed a stop. Running back out the backfield, they were not able to get a stop. And this is why I say some teams just have your number. In the last 10 games, last 11 games that Georgia has played Alabama, they are 1-11. Now, I don't know if that's a rivalry in my book. I just don't know because you got one team that comes out on the winning side more times than not. Alabama. Let me tell y'all something. Alabama. The rankings. I'm gonna give y'all the current rankings for this. Let me see. Current rankings, college football rankings. Cause I just wanna let y'all know how this game has played out. Let's see. Rankings for rankings heading into week 6. That's what I want. I just want to let y'all know this. Just want to let y'all know this. Let me see. ESPN. I'm going to put that ESPN. Let's see. So, ESPN rankings. So, y'all see the current rankings for week 6 of the college football season. Where y'all see LSU? LSU dropped way down there to 13. Also, Georgia, where y'all see them at? Way down there at 12. Alabama is 10. Now, one thing I can say is I don't have no problem with the top 3 when it comes to these rankings. Ohio State, they've been doing their job. Oregon, they just came out of a hostile environment Saturday night against Penn State. Miami, they beat Notre Dame. They beat Florida. They've been beating teams that they are supposed to beat. Miami has FSU on Saturday. That's going to be a good game. So now, does anybody, and I just want to let everybody know, does anybody have trouble with this current list? Because I don't have any trouble with it. I think everybody is worthy of their spots in this week's rankings. I do. So, all in all, college football, week 5 of the college football season was very entertaining. And with that, those are my reactions to week 5 of the 2025 college football season. Please like, comment, share, subscribe, click the notification bell to get notified of all of my reaction videos, shows, and other content. Keytime Sports right here on YouTube, Key City Sports on Instagram, and the Key at millions.co. We have merchandise over there, so you might want to go on over there and check it out. Also, remember everybody, one last thing. Remember, the key is always on time.